Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. This is my third time filming this, so hopefully it actually doesn't get corrupted this time. Oh, we'll see. But I wanted to do a get ready with me focused on talking about my engagement. This has been a long time coming, but I thought I would just go ahead and try again for a third time to see how this all shakes out. I will put all the products I use down in the description box below just to save on time, but let's go ahead and get started. So I got engaged to Ben, the person that I have been dating for 10 years. We celebrated our 10th year anniversary back in February. We started dating my senior year of high school. We had been friends beforehand, but we just hadn't ever like turned into something romantic, and then out of the blue it just started to happen. And I never thought, like, when I went to college, because I'm a year older than Ben, so he was a junior, I was a senior, I just figured we would break up. Like, I didn't have a whole lot of expectation. And then flash forward, here we are. A lot of people have wondered in the past why it took us so long to get engaged. You know, 10 years is a long time to be dating somebody. And part of it is, one, we started dating in high school, so I feel like that adds another element of length to a relationship. And two, we were long distance for 4 of those 10 years. I originally went to a different university than he did. I eventually transferred because I was miserable at the university I was at, and was much happier going to the same school that he was at, not because of him, but because of a number of other factors. And then when I graduated, I lived out of my suitcase for a year working for my sorority, and then I came to Maine and got a job, and he graduated and went to Boston. So collectively it's been 4 years that we were separated, and so we had always said, like, we would never want to get engaged until we had lived together. My parents encouraged that. They wanted us to live together. So we decided to, you know, eventually, hopefully, have me get a job in the Boston area so that we could do that. And so I was able to, 3 years ago, get a job down there. And we have since been living together. So it's kind of one of those things where I sort of just always knew that we would be getting engaged, we'd be getting married. And so that's sort of what I've always just kind of kept in the back of my mind. There's been really no rush, so to speak. So when people ask me if I had any idea, I honestly had no idea. There were a few reasons why I had no idea. One is because, like, Ben, I had always told Ben, like, I don't want it to be on a holiday or on our anniversary. Like, I want it to be its own special day. So when I told him that, it kind of left it into this whole sense of mystery, because, like, I always felt like on an anniversary it would be kind of like obvious that maybe you'd be proposing to me. I don't really know. So he proposed to me during April vacation, which is like the 2nd to 3rd week of April. And I had come to Maine as I normally do, because unless, like, I'm going to be hanging out with Ben if he's, like, not working or if we're going somewhere, I don't really like to sit at the apartment in Boston by myself all day. I'd rather just come up here and, like, hang out with my mom, see some of my friends who still live up here, and just sort of relax. I always find that coming to Maine is really, like, relaxing. So I came up here and I had a lot of grading I had to do because I had collected something from students right before going into April break, which normally isn't a bad thing if I do that, because I don't have the crunch to get it done during break unless I want to. However, that wasn't the case with this round of grading. We had our term 3 grades due right when we got back from April break. So I was kind of procrastinating, and finally when, like, Tuesday rolled around, I had said, listen, I'm gonna come back to Boston, that way I can, like, get my grading done and not have to worry about anything in regards to that. Like, I'm not getting a whole lot done here because I'm just, like, in La La Land. And Ben decided, which I learned all this after the fact, Ben decided that he wanted to propose to me that Saturday in Maine. He, like, made the decision, wanted to do it. He wanted our families afterwards to be able to, like, get together and eat dinner and, like, celebration of it. So he wanted to do it up here. I had no idea. And he had, like, called my parents and his parents to let them know. And he was like, but I got to keep Victoria up there because she wants to leave. So I had said to him, I was like, I don't want to stay up here. Like, I want to come back home. I need to get this grading done. And he was like, no, no, no. Like, you need to stay up there. Like, I want to come up this weekend. He's like, you can get your grading done if you just buckle down and like tell your mom you need to get your grading done so that she doesn't try to hang out with you or whatever. So he eventually like convinced me, and I like literally had not a clue. But apparently he purchased the ring back in January when I was gone at Bryant University, where I volunteer with my sorority. I'm a head advisor there. We call it a chapter collegiate director. I was gone for the weekend helping them with recruitment. So he had purchased the ring at that point in time. Had no idea. So Saturday came around, and that was like the day he decided he wanted to propose to me. And he went that morning to our mutual friend's house and had said like, hey, I want us to go out to lunch together. And afterwards, I want us to like go to this park. And I want you to take a picture. And like at that point is when I'll get down on one knee, like whatever. So he had stolen my nice like camera that I film my videos on. And I didn't know any of this because I was like hardcore grading. It was officially like crunch mode, and I was getting stressed because I like did it to myself. I made my own misery. And so eventually he came back and he had said like, hey, we're gonna go eat, lunch with Annie and Harold, and then you can come back and do some grading. And I was like, we're going home Saturday night. Like, I need to get this grading done. I'm just not focused when I'm in Maine, like whatever. So we went out to lunch. And I still had no idea. Like, I literally brought grading in the car with me, and I was grading on the way there. And as we were eating lunch, like I was talking about how much grading I had to do and had to get back to it. And so as we finished lunch, all of a sudden, we were gonna get ice cream. Now, if you know me, I love ice cream. It's like one of my favorite things to eat. I freaking love it. And we were gonna go to Red's in South Portland, for those of you that are in my general area or are just generally curious. And we were in Cape Elizabeth eating lunch. And all of a sudden, Annie was like, oh, well, we could go to Fort Williams, which is one of the state parks that's in Cape Elizabeth. And I was like, no, it's cold and rainy out, and it's not at all nice. Like, I'm not dressed to go walking around a state park. The Portland Headlight is located there, if you know, like that big landmark that people tend to have postcards of. I was just like, it's not nice out. Like, I'm not an outdoorsy girl by nature, but let alone like on a day that's gross out, I don't want to be walking outside. And Ben was like, no, we really should go. And I was just like, no, like I don't want to. I need to grade. Like, it's stupid. I just want to get ice cream. But eventually I was outvoted. And so we got in the car, and like literally the whole car ride over, I said to him, I was just like, I'm just going to stay in the car. I'll grade while you guys like walk around. Like, it's really pointless. It's not nice out. And he was just like, no, like, don't be like that. You should really come and walk around inside with us. So we got there, and literally, I was such a brat. We were walking around, and I was like, this is stupid. It's cold out. I don't want to be here. Why are we here? This is dumb. Like, give me the keys. I'm going to go sit in the car while you guys, like, do this. And eventually, I was like, I have to pee. Like, on top of it, I have to pee. Like, I don't want to be here. And he was like, why don't you just go to the porta potty, like, go to the bathroom, relax, and then we'll take a picture and we'll leave. TV timeout so that I can do my eyeliner because I can't talk and do that. Okay, well, we're back. So I went to the bathroom, and like literally I was just like such a grump, didn't want to be there. I was like, I have things to do. So eventually I walked back out, and I walked in front of the Portland Headlight. And for those of you that saw the video, you saw like, or like the video of pictures, you saw how it all went down. I'll link it here in the description box. All of a sudden we like went to, pose for the picture, and Annie pulled out my nice camera. And I said to her, I said, wait, how did you get my nice camera? And while I was distracted is when Ben got down on one knee, and I just immediately started crying. Like, it was just instant tears. And it was awful because I don't ordinarily wear waterproof makeup, and there's nothing. Ben couldn't have been like, hey, maybe we should like wear some waterproof mascara, because that wouldn't have worked. So the big issue, and the reason why you see me like wiping my eyes is, yes, I'm crying, but it's more because as soon as I started crying, I had no vision. I wear contacts, and these contacts that I am currently wearing for this year, because they were my prescription, which I could do a whole video about how much I hate these particular contacts, started to have all of the mascara cling, and I couldn't clear off my eyes, so like I legitimately like really couldn't see. And I also wasn't really paying attention to all the things that Ben was saying, because he was like giving me this really nice little like speech, whatever you want to call it. I just kept being like, he needs to ask me a question. He needs to ask me a question. Like, I don't want to screw this up. I want to make sure I hear the question. So I really don't know what he said to me, aside from like the very end where he was like, will you marry me? And I asked him after the fact, I was like, listen, what did you say to me? And he was like, honestly, I don't remember. So neither one of us knows what was said, minus the most important question of like, will you marry me? Which obviously I said yes to. The other reason why I honestly had no idea that I was being proposed to, and this is gonna sound really vain, but I don't care, is that my nails weren't painted. I had told Ben a while back, when all of my friends on Instagram and on Facebook were getting engaged and posting pictures. Normally when people get engaged, like the first picture that you see is either like them in their ring or like just their hand, and I really don't have nice nails. I have small nail beds. Even when my nails grow out, they're still not very nice, and this past year I've been really terrible about letting my nails grow out. I pick them. I'm just not nice to them. So I said to him, like when this all was going down, when everyone was getting engaged, I said to him, I was like, listen, I said, if you could just make sure that like the day you do it, I have painted nails, I'd really appreciate that. And he had said to me, like, I said to him afterwards, I was like, well, my nails aren't painted. He was like, I know. And it's actually not his fault, because on Friday night when we went out, I had my nails painted, and he couldn't have said to me, hey, like Saturday morning, maybe you should paint your nails, or like, hey, your nails are looking like terrible, maybe you should paint them, because that would have been a dead giveaway. I would have immediately known why. He never would have said that to me otherwise. So I picked my nails apart. We went to go see a movie, and the movie wasn't very good. So it really wasn't his fault that my nails weren't painted. But you can best believe that before we went out to eat dinner with our parents that night, I was like, could you maybe stop at Walgreens so that I can put on like press-on nails? And he did, because he knew that it really meant a lot to me that I had like a nice looking hand, which I know is really vain, but it just, to me, I absolutely hate my nails. Like even today I thought about not filming this video because my nails aren't painted and I didn't want to take the time to paint them or put on press-ons. So like it is what it is. So I will do a close-up right now for you guys so that you can see my ring. Basically, it is a marquee diamond with a thin band that has some diamonds next to it on each side. I didn't pick out this ring with Ben, and I never had really like looked at rings. I don't know a lot about rings or anything like that, but my mother has 3 marquee diamonds for her engagement band, and I've just always loved marquee. I think it's unique. I think that it's definitely something that not everybody has. Some people have said, like, not to me or about my ring, but like marquee diamonds are not as in fashion as they used to be. They're not as trendy, and that's really fine with me, because honestly I don't like a lot of the trendy rings that are out there. So Ben knew, I've always told Ben, not necessarily for this intended purpose, but like in passing, how much I love my mother's ring. The other thing that he knew about was that I wear a blue ring, which I'll also show you guys. And I've always said how much I like that ring because of the thinness of the band. I don't like my fingers not being able to touch each other when they're closed. And I have really like thin, small fingers. So I have to have a really small band with not a lot of width on it, because my fingers wouldn't be able to touch. And I know it's very particular, but I don't know, it's just something, one of my quirks. So, he bought it all on his own, like went by himself, and got the matching band that goes with it for when we do get married. He went to Jared, which I can officially like say that really cheesy line. But all in all, I'm just like really excited about it. I'm really excited for us to take this step in our relationship. And so next, of course, comes the wedding planning, which I think I'll try to keep doing these kind of get ready with me and talk about different topics, because a lot of you guys seem interested in wanting to know about like my wedding or like wedding planning in general. And I'm happy to share that, because honestly, I wish that I had someone do a series like that, or someone who I was really close to. I've had a few friends get married, but not in the way I am getting married. And what I mean by that is I'm going to be doing a Catholic mass. I am a relatively religious person. I come from the background of religion where like it's a private thing. I keep that to myself. I don't feel the need to impose it on other people or to bring it into my daily conversation. It's just something that I personally believe in and what have you, which is why I don't talk about it a lot with you guys. So I've never had someone close to me do that kind of wedding and work with all like the kinks of it. And so I'm willing to be open and honest with you guys about that if you're interested in the topic. If you don't have to, watch that video. It's fine with me if you're not, interested in this or things like that. And I will be honest, I didn't want to start wedding planning until this summer, but when it was all said and done, I finally felt like after like a month, I finally felt ready and like wanted to start working on it. Plus, I had been told by a lot of people, because there have been a lot of women in my department and in my school who've gotten married and pregnant since I have been there, that they told me the sooner I could start wedding planning, the better it would be. And they were kind of right. Ben and I are looking to get married on October 6th of 2018. So back in June, we started to wedding plan, and it worked out really well in the sense that I think we're right ahead of it, where people weren't planning their wedding that far in advance. So at this point in time, we have a photographer, we have our venue, we have the church, we did our marriage counseling for the Catholic Church, which we were like real in advance for, but I just wanted to get it done now. I'm not going to be doing flowers really at my wedding, which I can talk more about if you're real curious. I haven't gone wedding dress shopping yet. I just started doing research. I will be honest, wedding planning hasn't been glamorous or easy. A lot of my students gave me a lot of crap when I first got engaged, because they all had said, oh, you must know like exactly what you want to do for your wedding. You must have it all planned out. You probably had it planned, for a long time. And I haven't. I know I've come across as somebody who would spend like days and weeks and years thinking about their wedding, but I didn't. As like a little kid, I only ever thought about like, who would I marry? Like, it was always so interesting to me to think about the fact that I would be marrying someone that I hadn't even met yet. Like, I didn't even know who they were. And even in high school, I had thought that. Like, I never thought when I first started dating Ben, like, yes, I have found the man that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. Like, this is where it all ends right here. So no, I hadn't thought a lot about a wedding, and like, that's made it really challenging in a sense, because I don't have a clear like vision. When we first started, I didn't have a clear vision, neither did Ben. We just kind of knew what we didn't like from weddings we had gone to. So like that has made it challenging in and of itself. But yeah, I'm just really excited to be taking this step with Ben. Like, that to me is the most exciting thing, is that I get to like officially spend the rest of my life with him. And this is a celebration of that. We both kind of are trying to keep the mindset of like, this isn't just about us. In my personal opinion, well, yes, like it is for Ben and I to get married. I feel like for us to be doing a wedding, it's really also about our families. And so I want to keep them in mind. I want them to be a part of this. I want them to not just be excited, but I don't want the like animosity or stress that can come with wedding planning, or like, doing things that make people angry or not following certain traditions and like not being respectful of that. Because to me, in my opinion, that's why we're doing a wedding. It's not only for Ben and I to get married. I mean, we can go to the courthouse and do that, but it's to bring everybody else into it. And I'm just really glad that Ben and I have that same perspective, and I think so far it's going well. We're kind of getting to that point where there's not a lot that we have to do right now because we're more than a year away from the wedding. Like the big things are kind of all taken care of. We just need to finalize things with like our DJ, who we've kind of put a request in with, and all of that jazz. So I don't know, I'm just really excited about it, and it's been a wild ride. I'm only doing this once, I've told him, so we want to do it right, and we want to do the things that make us happy, but also we'll be inclusive of our family. So, all right guys, this is my finished look. This is one of my everyday looks that I've been going for while I've been panning my Maybelline the Nudes palette and my Balm How About Them Apples palette. I will link below my progress videos for those, along with all the products that I used in this. That's it for me. I'll talk to you in my next video real soon. Bye.